From their booth, now to our studio. Joining us here today are voice artists Inka Magnaye, Bettina Magnaye, Gerry Magnaye, and Neneng Magnaye Arceo. Welcome to Morning Matters. Wow.
Thanks for having us.
That video gave me all the feels and goosebumps.
I'm glad.
I felt like I was transported back to my childhood. Seriously.
Cool.
Totoo talaga, as in, tumas talaga balahibo ko. Now, I mean, I'd like to transfer that feeling to our audience now. So could you introduce yourselves again? I feel like you're going to do a better job than I did.
Oh, sure,
In your voiceover talent, could you introduce yourselves?
I'll start it and then
Parang kami na shy kayo, no?
remember, we're all voice talents behind the scenes.
Yes.
Hindi sila sanay. Ako lang yung sanay ngayon. And that's after 5 years pa. So, good morning, Morning Matters. My name is Inka Magnaye. Ganon ba?
I could sleep na. Joke. How about you? Ninang Neneng.
Yes.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to Morning Matters.
Hello.
Daddy.
Hello. My name is Gerry Magnaye. I am the father.
Wow.
And yes, radio guy, former. Now I'm doing this full time.
Galing. I mean, parang siya yung cartoon character na no? Yung parang sumusulpot-sulpot. That's that one, right?
That's
With all the
actually me.
expressions. I love it. B?
Hi, I'm Bettina Magnaye. I'm an early learning teacher and I also do voiceover work.
Yes.
And yeah, hi, welcome to Morning Matters.
Yay! And here we have a family of voiceover talents. As Inka has mentioned, she comes from generational talent. Your mom is not here,
Yeah, she's
but
busy.
she's also a voiceover talent.
Yes, she is.
She was the airline talent before you.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So who was the pioneer? I mean, the very first one in the
well-
Magnaye family.
Yeah, who was the first one? I guess you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Pops is the elder sibling between Pops and my Nina. So I guess it's you.
Oh, yeah.
How did you discover this line of work? I mean, what year?
How much time do we have?
We have enough time to tell your story.
I was originally a visual artist. I still am at heart. Came from UP College of Fine Arts.
Fine Arts.
So I am my major is painting. And then I fell in love with sound because I landed a job in radio just because I like the idea of talking over an intro. I love music, I love bands, I love information. So I landed a job in radio. And then they asked me, I learned production. And then back in high school, I was always the guy who would come up with funny voices that teachers would say, "Who said that?" So I started making use of it and earning from it, and I landed my first commercial back in 83, 82, 81. Yeah.
And since
As a
then, you've been doing it.
voiceover. Yes, and then I fancied editing, so I learned by watching people edit.
And did you fall in love with Inka's mom through her voice as well?
yes,
Love at first
we worked together in the morning show.
sound.
Yes.
Ah.
She was my newscaster. Back then, we were told not to touch the news, but I would somehow find a way to make her laugh while doing the news. And then it started some sort of a relationship. And
And the family.
And the family.
And Ninang is the sister of Gerry.
Younger
Yeah.
sister.
How did you? I mean, did you just know that you had a good voice when you were born?
No, whenever he would produce back then in merch plugs in the
Yes.
radio station, he would pull me in and say, "Can you do a line for me? Can you just say thank you? Can
Extra,
you laugh
extra,
for me?"
ganon.
Exactly, extra.
It was always a pleasure listening to people come right back at me when I give them an example on how to read a line, they would parrot in the beginning, but they're very good. So they come back with not just a parroted voice, but one with a heart. So, and then I said, hey, that one works. So let's try some more. So from short liners to long 15-seconders to 30-seconders
To an AVP.
to an AVP.
Oh, mahirap mag-voice, ah.
My dad's not just a voice artist. He's also really talented director and producer, audio producer as well.
Like putting the spiels together, you mean?
Like
And editing it and creating a story
crafting
around
the
it.
sound. He's actually multi-awarded. He's not going to tell you that. He's
Oh, wow.
yeah, he's too humble.
Yeah.
Even the ambient sounds. That's what
Everything.
you're
That's
talking
sound
about.
designing.
Yes.
That's his forte.
Yeah.
Within the booth.
Yeah.
Tell us about this podcast production, because we do know you as voiceover talents, but now you're venturing on over to creating shows and also for other talents, I presume.
Yes.
So what is From Our Booth about?
Would you like to take this? Okay, I'll take it. So From Our Booth is actually a family dream that Neneng brought up to us years ago. It's been her vision for all of us to kind of put our talents together, because when are you ever going to come across an entire family
I know.
of voiceovers? So she was like, why don't we do something? Why don't we put our talent to good use and bring something good into the world? And for a while, it didn't pan out until, but you know, things happen when they're supposed to happen,
Life.
right? Yeah.
Life happens.
And how did
happens.
this fall into this time and space? I mean, how did you find the right timing to finally put this up?
One day, I think Neneng was just like, you know what, I think we can do it already. And then we said, okay, let's go.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
So Rhymes and Tales, are you acting out specific
Roles.
famous cartoon characters, or are these characters made up by your family?
Oh, no. We just, what initially started with are public domain stories of nursery rhymes. And we picked a few that are quite
Safe.
popular
And
and
safe.
safe to reproduce or adapt.
Copyright wise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Kailangan public domain para walang sabi.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, so what stories can we find there?
So we have
Yeah.
an adaptation from Jack and Jill.
Just the first episode.
Yeah. And then the Three Little Pigs.
Three Little Pigs.
The Hare and the Tortoise.
Yes.
The wolf.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Cried Wolf. Yeah.
And then
So
we have
these
Goldilocks.
classic stories.
What was that
all
one
know
that
and
we
love.
watched a while ago?
That was
That
Jack and
supposed-
Jill.
That was
Ah,
Jack and Jill. That was the very
Yes.
first one.
Yes.
That's the pirate.
So what we do with this one is we take all these stories that we know and love, that we grew up with, we add a little bit more dialogue, so it's just a bit more immersive. Because what we want out of the podcast is for children to use their imaginations. We want to take them out of the motion
doom
of just like
scrolling
yeah,
wall.
just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, or just
Watching video
Yeah.
mindlessly.
Exactly.
Because the
And-
attention span suffers.
Yeah.
So we want to give them more, you know.
more
And
to
it's
work
amazing.
with.
I asked about cartoon characters because it did put me there. I felt like I was in a Disney film of some sorts, just listening to
I'm
you guys,
glad.
right? But how do you choose the roles? I mean, how do you assign roles? How do you learn the voicing? Do you, try to imagine who would Jack and Jill be?
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you have shifts in voicing out these characters when you go from one fairy tale to another?
It always starts with a script, because what we did with the scripts, you remember how simple it was? Jack and Jill, for example. It was very simple.
It's a very
So
short
that-
rhyme.
It's a very short rhyme, so kids can understand. So what we did is we added, like what Inka said, a little bit more of dialogue with more movement, so you can hear.
Sound movement.
Yeah, sound movement.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
It was just
then-
that, right?
And what did you add to that? I mean, just
We added dialogues between
Yeah.
Jack and Jill. So
Yeah.
it's not
Made
just
it
one
come to
person.
So we decided to come up with a
whole
complete
story.
simple
The
story.
whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pops added like sound effects. It really sounds like
Could
they're
we hear
going
that?
up the
Could we hear
hill.
that a bit? I mean, could you talk in that way?
It's difficult to do that like live, simply
like-
because a big element of the podcast itself is sound design. So you need to listen to it like left and right ear with your earphones or speakers. Because Pops really puts you, and this is Pops, he puts you in a very immersive bubble. Like when you're sitting there, it sounds like Jack and Jill is going up the hill. You can't see it, but you see it in your mind's eye.
Right.
Like
Which
the
is
sound of steps, sound of the water.
the sound
you
of
should hear them
grass,
falling.
Yeah,
the
the
sound of
falling.
falling, the sound of them doing this to their clothes.
It's as if you're with them falling.
Yeah.
Kaya mahirap siya,
Yes.
live.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It really is a production.
In the creation process, I had to work closely with the sound editor, and I would describe to him. I said, I would like him while he's running to have some branches whipping his face.
And how do you produce that? Do you record it
question.
with the branch and
Sometimes we have to do
Sometimes.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, we Foley.
okay.
Yeah. And
Sometimes I would
sometimes
have
we
to-
look for several S-effects from the library and then we
Yes.
combine things together that will sound just like that.
So it's a combination of live sound effects and filed sound effect files. And then stereo and equalization,
Yeah.
depth, and moving away from the mic, closer to the mic.
Yes.
So
It's all there.
it's all an art, and I love it. I mean, but speaking of trying to fit yourself in different roles, how do you prepare for a performance? Do you imagine yourself as the characters? Is it the same process as a normal actor and actress would go through?
Sometimes we would do that. It's like, oh, you have to sound like you're falling. So even our facial expression is there.
Yeah, our bodies.
We really
Can't see
act it out.
Yeah.
So pagod kayo pagkatapos
Oh,
ng-
yeah.
Yes.
It's very draining, actually.
Bettina's,
She's
what's
Jill.
your experience be?
Yeah, Angel. It's actually, I have an easier time because since I'm an early learning teacher, I did a lot of story time with my students, so I have experience in that acting out stories and telling stories.
Can voice be trained? I mean, if you have a naturally deep voice, I do have a deep voice. Could I make it go higher? Or if you have a high-pitched voice, could you make it go lower?
yes, there are certain exercises you can do to expand your vocal prowess capability, and then of course the secret ingredient is your heart and your imagination. Because if you have those three, then you can be whoever you want to be.
Can you try to voice in a high, mid, and low?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by high? Like high?
You
or-
can make it go high like
Yeah,
that.
it's a
right?
matter of placement. It's actually it actually depends on the situation the character is in.
Yeah.
It depends on how much sleep you have.
It's true.
Because
That is true.
That's true.
Yes.
I know.
It's affected,
As a broadcaster, I do go through
Hoarse
problems
voice.
with my
Exactly.
throat too.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but how do you take care of yours? I mean, and make sure that it stays intact.
Coffee.
Ginger tea.
Yes.
Warm tea.
Ginger tea, warm
Yeah.
ginger
Warm
tea.
tea for me.
Salabat.
Yeah.
But
Sleep,
yeah,
salabat,
Yeah,
and,
sleep.
and easy caffeine consumption.
don't listen to him. Just kidding.
I know. So maybe that
sorry.
one is affected. But did you intentionally train your daughters? I mean, to grow up as voice talents? Because Inka, I saw, started very
fine.
young, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional, except that I found out that even as a baby, remember on a bean bag?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, you don't remember, but on a bean bag, we would keep her on a bean bag because we simply didn't have any extra house help to watch the baby, and of course, we'd like to bring her in our little studio, and I would always put a microphone right beside her, and and record her laughter,
baby.
her sounds.
So you have all that saved.
Oh, it went somewhere else.
It went on vacation.
No, that was something happened to one of the
Recorded.
Tapes?
Yeah.
Ano ba yun? VHS?
That was like 1989.
Yeah.
Cassette audio recording.
Oh, open reels, yung mga ganon.
Yeah.
And then I found out that she can laugh with intention, with feeling, and then if I give her a line, so I would use her. I would utilize her voice if I needed a baby, and then as a teenager.
Dapat may bayad ka yata, no?
I should edit pala my bio. No, I didn't start when I was 5. I started when I was
Younger,
a baby.
when you were a baby.
And then parroting is a wonderful tool, and all it needed was heart. And then I
good
realized
ear.
that she also had heart, and so did she, and even my sister. So
And Renzo,
and
brother.
Renzo, yeah. And so parroting is just half the task,
Yeah.
heart and mind.
And it's like
imagination.
that when we do our recordings. Like, because
Yes.
again, I mentioned that my dad is a really good director. And he has this ability to kind of bring out that heart from people. So, like, on our recording days, we'd each choose, right? Neneng would print out the script. She'd give us copies, and then she'd go, okay, which role do you guys want to do? Brother's like, oh, I can do this guy. And then V's like, oh, I can do this girl. And then we're like, okay, sige.
Or boy.
Or boy, yeah.
Or
we had
boy,
a little boy voice as well. And then I'm like, okay, I'll do the narrator. And then Pops is like, is there any way you can do the narrator differently this time so it doesn't sound like the last episode? And I went, once upon a time, there was a little boy. And then my dad's like,
I said,
yes,
Mrs. Potts.
do that. Wow. So that's the voice that I did for Three Little Pigs
Yes.
in one of the episodes.
We would usually spend close to an hour before the recording starts.
Pre-prods.
Just figuring out, trying out voices.
Yeah.
And having fun with it.
Yes, that's the most important part, is to have
Experimenting.
fun. Yeah.
And to practice the spontaneity, I guess, with
Especially the
voice singing and
exchange.
the
Yes.
banter and all of that, and the
We-
rapport.
Yes.
We even nitpick crowd recordings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The
'Cause
background noises of crowds in,
Naririnig nyo?
in the podcast.
That's us.
No, that's
Kami rin
us.
yun.
Ah, kayo rin yun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ang
That's
galing.
us.
Yeah, so the villagers, that's
Yeah,
all
kami
of
rin
us. We take on different
Parang
background
you're
roles.
in a play, but this is all sound, right?
Yes.
It feels like what you're doing is a rebellion. I mean, against video.
Hindi naman.
Yeah.
Hindi naman.
Hindi naman.
She says yes. And the second,
Slight lang.
yes, because I mentioned this because we are headed for quite the transformation with artificial intelligence, when even voice could be generated online. I mean,
yeah.
are you kind of worried about that? Because I've seen many videos that have recreated voices from famous personalities.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or have even, just AI bots on YouTube using some person's
Random
voice, some
voice.
created voice.
Right.
Are
It's
you
actually
worried about that?
It's actually a long-running discussion. It's still going on right now amongst voice talents. And the best way to not go against it, the best, not even fight it, but the best way to swim with it is to learn it. Learn AI, because there are a lot of benefits in knowing how to use AI, and it's just a matter of guarding yourself against the, what do you call that? Unscrupulous. Unscrupulous.
Have you used it in your production?
For voice?
For
No.
voice, no.
Not yet.
No.
What do you think would be the main difference? I mean, kasi kung wari ikaw, you're an agency and you would do a commercial, if you could generate it for free, right?
You can, but
There's no heart.
There's no heart. That's what Pops was talking about
There's no heart.
earlier. It's like
Monotone.
anyone can do, not even, like you can put whatever code if you want your AI to like sound like this, and then you can bring the voice down a little bit.
You've tried
Or-
it.
I mean, I can sound like it, but like the thing that AI lacks is heart and spontaneity. You can't.
Spontaneity, yes.
You can't
That's
have
the one.
AI mimic actual human emotions on the spot.
Right.
It's impossible.
Including ad-libs, nuances.
Yeah.
Although they have successfully produced conversations, dialogues, discussions on air. There are a few Spotify shows between two
AI.
voices
Yeah.
discussing things. But after a while, it sounds like, you will notice it will start to sound like a wallpaper.
Right. It's monotonous.
Because
Well, I do listen to some motivational speakers on YouTube, and parang they have their video where the human person is actually there talking. So you know that's the original one. But meron mga iba na parang there's just a photo and there's their voice,
Yeah.
and you kind of notice that it's the same modulation. Like
Yeah.
parang yung ganun-ganun lang
No
siya.
inflections.
There's a similar
no
cadence.
intonations.
Yeah, but I fear that AI will keep getting better.
oh yeah,
Oo naman.
Right?
For sure.
yes.
It will.
Yeah.
But it can never. It can try to replicate human emotion and heart and spontaneity, but it'll never get there, I think.
But maybe this is the way that we counter that. I mean, acting out as a group,
And we
Putting
encourage
emotion.
listeners, yes.
Yeah. But
having that conversation, those ad libs within the script.
And the thing is, if you depend on AI entirely for all of that, you're going to miss all these moments when we're printing out scripts together, figuring out who's going to do which character, discovering that we could do this voice pala, my dad directing us, pretending to be a pig in the booth. AI won't give you those moments. It won't give you
The
the art,
bonding
the
moments.
bonding. So you can use AI if you want. It can be effective for what you need done, but the energy around creating something with fellow humans, it's not.
different.
It's different.
And that humans could relate to.
Yes.
A shared common experience. Maybe you should record your behind the scenes, no, as you do it. It would be interesting to watch.
We
you
have
guys.
been. Snippets of it.
we should record more.
What other genres can we expect from our booth?
Well, we're planning. It's in the pipeline. Alamats.
Yeah,
Alamat.
Filipino stories.
Alamat.
Yeah, Filipino
Tagalog.
stories. Yeah.
Oh, yun,
Alamat.
mahirapan yung eh. Ay, joke.
And then
mahirap.
some
Joke lang.
religious stories, maybe we can do that. And maybe songs,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Are you
I don't
all
know.
singers as well?
We like to sing.
Does it
We love
does
to
it
sing.
follow?
We like to sing.
Or could you be bad at singing but good at voice acting?
Definitely.
Could be.
Pwede naman.
and the other way around. And the other way around.
Okay, so a lot more to expect from our booth. I think you deserve a congratulations because
Thank
you're
you.
not
Thank
just
you.
you know expressing yourself, but you're pushing forward an art that should be appreciated more. And I think it comes at a time where Filipinos appreciate and listen to podcasts even more.
Yeah.
But tell our audiences, what's the beauty of sound? I mean, what's the difference of listening to a podcast as opposed to watching a video?
Okay, so that means me. Because one's imagination is limitless. So for as long as you have not completely let go of the child in you, then you can imagine. And it's going to be bigger, better, more colorful, wilder, darker if you want, than anything you can see on television. Plus, it doesn't cost much to produce as opposed to visuals, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to spend tons of money to create what you imagine. But you only need your brain, your heart, and your ears.
Good
They have to be
your,
working.
your inner child is important.
Does it improve attention span? I wonder.
I guess.
Slowly,
guess.
I guess.
Actually,
because that's
it's-
one of our
Yeah.
goals. It's actually to reintroduce to adults like us and introduce to
Young
the young
kids.
ones
Yeah, maybe-
the appreciation of
How
listening.
How early can kids start listening to your podcast?
In the womb.
Yeah.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Oo naman.
As early as
A
that.
lot of my
yeah,
students
yeah.
listen to the podcast already.
Yeah.
So mothers should not be afraid.
Yeah.
di ba, usually naalagaan yun eh. Kung ano
Yeah,
yung
for sure.
media
Right,
consumption.
right.
Eh.
It's rated G.
Yeah. Although some of
Just
them-
as a final question, what genre would you like to do as a family that you haven't done yet?
I want to do horror.
Folklore, Philippine folklore.
Yeah, folklore.
Philippine
That's
folklore.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mga tikbalang.
Yeah, things like that.
Yes.
Okay, how often can we expect a new upload on your Spotify channel?
It's usually weekly.
Every week.
Yes.
Yes.
Every week.
Every Friday.
Once a week.
Starting.
We're already on episode 4 from the first season. First season's going to have 8 episodes, and the next season will come right after that.
Wow, exciting. Thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you for having
congratulations
us.
Thank you.
on inspiring us with your voices.
Thank you.
And your life stories.
Thank
We do hope more would tune in to you guys. And this creates a movement.
Hopefully.
Of course, we have Inka, we have Neneng, Gerry, and B, the Magnayes and the Arceos, the voices behind the Rhymes and Tales podcast. They're not just voices now, but also faces, despite how camera shy they are. Thank you for being with us here on
Thank
Morning
you,
Matters.
thank
you for
Listen
having us.
to Rhymes and Tales podcast on Spotify. Na-pressure ako. Thank you so much once again for joining us today. That wraps up today's show. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Hong. We are One News, all sides, all the time.